My name is Valerie. I am the president and operator of North Winds Rescue. We recently acquired a mare from a Colorado kill pen. We paid for her. Her name is Zira. I put her in the round pen to start working with her. Anytime we put pressure on her, she gets really defensive and comes at us. We were able to get a halter on her. It took a lot of time and patience, but we were able to get a halter on her. Thought things were good, and the volunteer that I had out doing the halter, we all started walking away, and she went to walk out of the arena, and Zira came at her, planted, and kicked her and knocked her down.
The good news is, usually this is fixed relatively easily. It's just got to be done in a safe way, and with as little, pressure on the horse as possible. It's not like, it's not going in there and showing them who's boss or something. Now, does she give you a hard time when you bring the hay in or anything like that? So it is more like defensive when you're doing something with her. Okay. And so, to your knowledge, she's probably been haltered and led around before, or did you feel like you taught her all that?
I feel like she had to learn that.
Okay.
She did not come off the trailer very easily. They had a hard time getting her on the trailer. The rescue that had her for a month said that they didn't do anything with her.
Okay. What about putting your arm over her neck or reaching under? Oh yeah, there you go. So yeah, and then get a hold of the other side of it and just tip her towards you. Perfect. Very nice, Valerie. You can tell you've done that before. Very smooth. Okay, instead of you working with her and risking her coming at you and something happening, I'm really happy to see that you could get a halter on her, because what I would like to do with her now is play the owning space game with her at liberty. Okay. But I would leave the halter on her because you recognize that she's afraid sometimes, and so that's why you have to go really slow to put the halter on her. And then after chasing her around, she could be a little harder to catch, depending on how it goes. And so by having the halter on, theoretically, it'll be pretty easier to hook her back up and go online. So the reason that I would want to do it at liberty versus online is that rope puts an element of pressure to the situation because the distance is so much closer. Where here, if I own her space, she can leave and go all the way across the pen and get relief, and then it'll be easier for her to learn, get relief by going away. Like you said, I'm trying to teach her to understand pressure and move away, but she's coming into it. And not going away.
And every time we've worked with her, it has been offline. It has been at liberty.
Oh, okay. But were you driving her much? Yeah, okay.
No.
You were mostly building her confidence with you and that sort of thing, but then that turned into aggression. And I'm really glad that we're able to come do this video, because most people that are watching, they don't want to put pressure on a horse. Like, they don't want to see the horse scared, they don't want to see him bothered. But if we only think like that, we're only thinking kind of from the person's perspective. We have to take in what are our natural instincts and tendencies and what is a horse's natural tendencies and instincts, and we have to meet in the middle. And what's interesting is it's actually a natural instinct for a human that if the horse is scared and bothered by what you're doing, we think don't bother them. But the truth is, because they're a herd animal that has a hierarchy, we do have to have them understand that we are the leader and that we can be their friend. But it's like, if you try to go be their friend before they see you as the leader, that's when you can run into some issues. Yeah. And what's also interesting is you could have a horse that's either more afraid, like even there, she just moved your feet, So those are just little things that she has just enough understanding of this behavior that, if you're asking her to do something that she wants to do, or stopping her from doing something she wants to do, it's like, you're the problem and I'm going to take you out, and have you move over. Because they understand those dynamics of whoever moves their feet, gets the other one to move their feet, it doesn't make them the alpha. They do care who the leader is. So there's a yielding issue that's important, but there's also a confidence thing. So if I have a person who has a very left-brained horse and the horse is quiet, and the person is very timid and doesn't want to put any pressure on the horse, that horse will start to become more spooky because they're relying on their pre-animal instincts to be safe. If the horse sees the human as the leader, not only will they be more cooperative, but they will also be more confident. Okay. So yeah, she kind of, you know, is just doing her own thing. That's fine. But let's go ahead and unclip her, and we're going to do a little owning space game. So I'll just have you step out. Yep. And I'm going to do this game with my flag first, because the flag is a good tool for big energy. Like, I can use the tool and I can really own a lot of space. Like just the amount of presence and energy that the flag puts off when I wave it is highly effective. It's also like, if the horse charges me, I can put something very visual in their face very quickly and hopefully deter her from that. The stick and string is good for more precise pressure, you know, of like if you need to touch them on a specific part of their body, that can work a little better. I think I'm gonna have both with me, just in case. So I'm gonna walk towards her, and I'm just gonna go own her space. And those of you that have been following this, you guys have seen me do this many times, but I'm just gonna walk on a line here. I'm gonna do it with a little bit of energy, and just go claim that space. That's part of why I like the flag, is usually you don't end up having to touch them, you know? And it seems weird to drive a horse around that is also afraid of us at times, but we have to bring both things need to come together. Yielding and confidence have to go together about at the same pace. And so even when I'm working with a horse like JLo, or if I was working with a horse like her, I would be, every session, if I'm there 5 minutes or if I'm there 60 minutes, I'm doing a yield, I'm doing some confidence building. I'm doing a yield, I'm doing some confidence building. Does that make sense? When you try to focus on just confidence, 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 it can lead to some of those behaviors. Just by how you interacted with her and were stepping away when she was pushing into you, I wouldn't even have it in me to do that. If I was holding on to her, I'm gonna throw up a block and be like, oh, you're not moving my feet, you know? This is natural to horses, to figure out who's in charge of whose feet. Now, part of why I was yakking over there is to give her time to process. So I'm gonna walk with assertiveness, and I'm still gonna finish. Now notice I went to the spot where she was at. When she moved, I didn't turn and go after her. It's a very, very simple pattern. I try and when a horse is pretty green, I don't tell them where to be. I tell them where not to be. And that simple difference of me just saying, you're not allowed to be right here, I'm here, this is my spot. That just cuts right down to the chase of, I'm the herd leader in here because I can have this space when I want it. If she is the herd leader, because that's what she's doing when she's going after. She's not telling you where to be. She's telling you you're not allowed to be right here right now. And you can see she's very relaxed. She's not like running around the pen like crazy, because I'm not round penning her in here. And I think that's where some of this stuff got a bad rap back in the day, is people would just try to exercise the horse and tire them out and push them around. I'm not trying to do that at all. I'm just claiming the space, you know. Now I'm going to be a little bit quieter. I'm going to walk with a little bit softer energy. Do you guys see her moving? It took less pressure to influence her. And so I'm already able to back off a little bit on the pressure side of things, because she believes me, you know. If you've got a horse, you've already understood that horsemanship is more of a journey than a destination. There's a lot of problems that can come up, and it's really helpful to have a guide on that journey. If you'd like, I would like to help be your guide, and I can do that through my Patreon page. We have tons of videos on there that you can watch and follow the right sequence. You can also message me and ask me questions, and even do video coaching. Not to mention, we do monthly giveaways. I'll leave a link in the description below. Let's get back to the video. Now, the other thing is, there's different ways to catch a horse. A lot of people focus on getting the horse to draw in. For me, a horse has to kind of earn that to a degree. And what I mean by that is they can get to become more dominant if it's more of a draw scenario. It's like, see here, she might be testing it a little bit. We just kind of got to watch here. What I'm not going to do in this with her is back up and try to draw her into me. So that is a skill and a technique that we use for a lot of horses. I would not use that with her until I trusted her. Right now, we will only do drive with her. And in the video that you sent me, you were moving away from her a lot, whether it's leading her or you were backing up away from her. And so that's going to trip her mind more quickly to the dominance. Like, you could have a cow in here or a ball, And if you push that cow or bull towards the horse, they will run away. You take that ball or the cow and you drive it away, next thing you know, the horse has their ears back going after it. Like, it's that quickly. It's a very big difference to a horse, drive versus draw. So with her, it would be like drive only for like 10 sessions. And you can go to her. Do you see her testing the waters here a little bit? Like, she came in a little closer. She's got one ear on me. And then I got a little head toss there. And so I just called her on that and said, no, you're pushing on my bubble. And I didn't say you could push on my bubble yet. But what I was coming around to with my long story there about draw and drive is I'm going to want to, normally when I play this game, I would play it until the horse comes to me. Because if I kept doing this in a certain way, she would end up coming to me. I'm not going to do that much with her right now.
I think that's the part that I was stuck at.
Okay.
Doing the draw into me, and I'm like, I don't want you by me.
Yeah.
I'm not ready.
Yep. So Valerie's saying she was doing a lot of the draw, and that's where she got a little stuck, is she was doing that. But you could feel that the horse wasn't quite in a good frame of mind to be that close to you yet. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to approach her, but I'm going to approach her in a weird way. See, I went to walk over here, and now she's leaving. So now I'm going to follow her and put a little bit of pressure on her. I honestly just don't feel like I need to keep driving her. So I am driving her, but I'm doing this now in a way to bring out her curiosity. So I'm being slightly annoying, okay? And what I'm hoping is that you can basically reproduce what I'm doing today, because she basically needs a few sessions of this, and now I'll retreat. I was putting just enough pressure. I didn't scare her, but I was annoying her, and she stopped to go, what is that all about there? So now I'm not going to walk straight to her. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. Kind of trying to decide what's the right tool to have in my hands. I think the flag is the tool of choice. What I want to do now is teach her a standstill. When she gives me two eyes, actually, I could even do that. She stood still. I could just back off and take the pressure off there. Because it's like, do I really want two eyes? Maybe not. I actually really want a standstill more than I want anything else. And this is where horsemanship is interesting, because it's like whatever you release on, we say the release is what teaches. So if I release her on a standstill, she started moving, I started moving, put a little pressure on her. Me putting pressure on her is my eyeballs and belly button going towards her. So if she wants me to be quiet, stay standing still. So the game changed from the first game that I played with her. And now I'm going to practice just moving around her here. Now I like that. She stepped towards me, but she did it with curiosity. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the lead rope back on her now. I'm happy with where she's at, the frame of mind she's in. And we're going to play the game at a little more sophisticated level now. This is where it gets tricky though, because if I don't have my flag with me, it's going to be a little harder to correct her if she does something, if she comes at me. So I'm banking on her not being real committed to it, and not putting too much pressure on her. Now, she was tossing her head there, and I'm hoping that was flies. So I decided to come at her a little more from the side here. The interesting thing that's going to be different than what you would normally do, when you're building confidence, you'd be drawing the horse in. I'm not going to draw her in. What we're going to do is we're going to teach this horse a drive move. And so because I want to maintain distance from the horse, I'm going to teach it that when I shake this rope, it needs to back up. Again, so I'm doing the opposite of draw. And now I'm building in some safety nets for the human, okay? So this is one of those safety nets. This is normally a technique that I don't teach very many horses because I don't like them to put their head up in the air, but in this instance, definitely an important one. And you can already see the look on her face, like, I didn't know that was coming. Like, I didn't see that. I didn't see you having that trick up your sleeve, Now, something else that you can build in with this horse, I want you to practice approaching her and be able to come up here, and I'm going to just pet her with the stick. So again, you saw me just do a yield, and then you've seen me now do confidence things. Like the standstill was a confidence thing, owning space was a yield, backing her up was a yield. Now I'm going back to a confidence thing. And then you can kind of use this stick and string to help keep the flies off her. Those flies are like right in her eyeball. So now I'm gonna back off. I don't want her to follow me. I'm gonna drive her back again. And again, I'm just trying to be a little annoying with this rope here. She's thinking that means go forward. As soon as we get a backward step, we'll release. The other thing that I would like to share with people, and this is not the fun side of this stuff, but it's the truth. The alternative for a horse like this, if she maintains being aggressive, because some people think I'm being mean right now by wiggling the rope at her. I know you don't, but some people watching, I'm the big bad cowboy already that's doing this. And what I want people to understand is, number one, my number one priority is to help horses be more connected to a human's idea. I want them to understand things. What people don't understand is that horses are not bothered because of pressure. Horses get really upset and stressed when they don't understand pressure. So that's really critical for them to know. The other thing people need to know is the alternative for this horse is getting put down. If this horse does not get over this, and if she's not safe to be around, she's already kind of on her last chance here. And you've not said that to me, I just know how it goes. I take this very serious, you know what I mean? And I know that what I'm doing with this horse in here, it has to work. Like, this is her last chance. This has to work. And people that are watching, they need to understand how important that is. Because if they don't understand that, then it would be just me being mean, chasing them around here with a stick. But it's not like you can just let them loose and have a horse running around. Yeah, that's just the way it works. This stuff has to work. And I've been the last stop for a lot of horses. And I've been really fortunate that we've been able to successfully rehab them with as low stress and as little pressure as possible. But horse training is not just time, patience, and cookies. It takes more than that. It takes reading the horse. It takes the ability to use our tools correctly. It takes understanding horse psychology and getting them to understand pressure. So now I'm going to add driving pressure with the stick here. And I want that to mean back up. And now I'll back it up with the rope. Okay. So she just needs to know that that means step off. Human nature says, like, more reps. The more I drive her and the more times I do it, you could turn this into a problem where she feels attacked by us just repeatedly doing that. This is not about how many reps it is, it's about the quality of response. I walked at her with a strong intention last time. This one, my intention changed, and even though I have some energy here as I'm lifting the stick, my intention is to pet her. And horses are designed to read our intention. They have to tell, is the water hole safe to go to get water out of, or is it not? Does that lion look hungry over there, or is it just chilling out? Like, they have to read that, because if they're scared of everything, they're going to die. If they trust everything, they're going to die. They have to find a balance to it. So horses naturally want to read people correctly. We just have to acknowledge that and use our intention correctly. So I like that. She's trusting me. So this is where I'm building her confidence for us to walk up and halter her, you know, and just getting her okay with that. I only think it's going to take a few days for her to get comfortable enough with people that she's going to quit the move of going after them. I'm not saying she's never going to try it again, but I feel like if you're here and you got a stick or a flag and you're ready to defend your space, it won't take that much to talk her out of it. I don't think she's super committed. So again, you see me, I'm coming into her space. See, she's just locked up here. She doesn't know what to do there. As soon as she found forward, I needed to give her relief. So she felt trapped over there. She wants to go over here. That's fine. As soon as she took a step forward that way, I retreated because she felt pretty bound up there. So I'm going to do my best to kind of set her up for success going this way. But that wasn't set up for success because I was pushing her into a corner. Yeah, we're there, got a little easier right there. And I'm trying to give her plenty of space here. I like to make predictions sometimes. And I would predict that she's going to trot off pretty good because I've already established myself as the leader. She didn't know me before I walked in here. And right away, I claimed her space. And so if she does try it, it will say how committed she is to it. But I'm just like sharing with you that because of how passive you were with her right off the bat, in the goal of building confidence, which is totally the right thing to do, but as soon as you start feeling some of those little tests, you got to nip it in the bud, yeah, and switch it to driving, and it's okay. You can take a completely feral horse, a Mustang that's never been handled, and you can drive them around the pen, and it is perfectly acceptable. They don't have to, they have to learn yielding and confidence in a balance right off the bat. It's not one more important than the other. Confidence and yielding. And see, it feels wrong to me to go any further than that. I need to stop her and let her know, that was right. Good job. When people are first learning something and horses are first learning something, they need a lot of good jobs, a lot of attaboys. So like in the very beginning of this video, I drove the horse off this spot and then I stopped and talked for a really long time. That wasn't completely, it wasn't just because I like talking. She needed to just go somewhere and just get relief and just be right. I'm gonna point, I'm gonna bring my life up. Do you see the quality of response? Yep. I don't need to continue going. She said yes. I said great. But I would say she doesn't need like super long sessions. She needs them to be short and sweet, but it can't just be going after her the whole time. But if you do need to be effective, you need to mean it. Don't nag her. You don't want to nag this type of horse. And then give her breaks in between of building her confidence. Her ear is caught on her mane. That's kind of funny. And I would err a little bit more on the side of the yields than the confidence. The confidence stuff will come quite easily with her, but she needs to, not go after anybody.
So now that you're out here, I think
Tell us, can you just tell me what your main takeaways are here? Working with her.
We are more intentional with everything that we do and going a lot slower. We're going to take it a lot slower.
Wow.
I think we were just doing too much at once and put her over the edge. I was trying to teach her the draw more than the drive, so that didn't help.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for reaching out to me and helping us. And she's on our Patreon page. You've been a member for a long time, and we appreciate that. And should people go on and join the Patreon page?
They absolutely should.
You need to get on there. What are you waiting for? So we'll see you guys on the next one.